It's great to welcome Kayleigh McGavock and Chris Sytnyk of Dandelion Highway back to the podcast. They are a wonderful
Hello.
musical duo from Toronto, Canada, and they recently released a new EP titled The Crossing. Hello, Kayleigh. Hello, Chris. How are you?
We're
Hello.
good.
Okay, yeah, tell me about the reception of the EP thus far.
Kayleigh, do you want to?
It's been going good. So we've been doing a lot of gigging, trying to promote the album, and it's been received well as well. We've had some success with college radio where it's getting played, and we've made some friends, I think, across Canada doing little interviews here and there. And it's been added to a couple of like indie playlists and stuff. So we've had some success. I think when we look at our stats, though, it's kind of it can be quite surprising. We would have thought like we'd be most popular in Canada and in Ireland, but no, like it's most popular in the US and then Canada, and then it's actually like India and a host of other countries before it's Ireland. So that's kind of funny, but yeah, we're enjoying the process.
That's cool. So, were you aiming for the Irish audience during the making of the EP?
A little bit, because I'm from Ireland, as you know, and just a lot of like Celtic influence to the music, and it's kind of one of the songs, "Home," is literally about like leaving home. But I think when we play it here in Canada, because there's so many immigrants here as well, like I think it resonates really with people who are living away from home in general, kind of. So
Of course.
it
Yeah.
doesn't need to be Irish, but
Hmm.
you know.
Yeah, and speaking of Ireland, St. Patrick's Day was a few days ago. Maybe I
Oh
think it was like a
yeah,
week and a half ago at this point. So, how did you celebrate
still
it?
have my still have my green nails. I went to the parade this year for the first time ever. I'd never been to that in Toronto, and it was so fun. It was so funny, like all the different pieces to the parade. It was like a medley of things, and they had a C.S. Lewis float in the parade as well. I thought it
Oh
was
wow.
so cute.
Well, he was
It was,
Irish, so
he was,
Northern
I didn't
Irish,
know.
Northern
Yeah,
Irish, but still.
yeah, I had no idea he was. And then we went to a few Irish pubs and we got all the lots of free Irish merch. We were all going around with Jameson hats on, and it was fun.
Yeah.
I think Chris had to work. Did you, Chris?
I did. Yes, my hands were green for a different reason. Just
Okay.
from all the beer dye.
Well,
Chris is a bartender as well when he's not a musician.
that's it. Yeah. So I mean, still, it's St. Patrick's Day, and has so you certainly enjoyed the festivities, even in a different capacity.
Yeah, I mean, people were in a pretty good mood. Yeah, yeah. It's always a good time. I met some people from Germany, and they had no idea that St. Patrick's Day was such a big deal in Canada because I don't
Oh, you
think they
did?
celebrate in Germany. And I said
Oh.
it's kind of like Christmas.
Right. Yeah.
We take
And
it
you're
very
Irish.
seriously.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm quite
Yeah.
surprised that St. Patrick's Day is not as big in Europe. I know it's bigger, it's pretty big in North America, but I'm sure you know the story of the saint, right? The saintly figure, St. Patrick. Yeah,
Yeah.
he was like kidnapped into Ireland, so he was not like a native of Ireland. But, yeah, he came back.
But
But that's quite
he's
interesting.
Ah,
credited, yeah.
there's always a
Credited
dark.
to,
Yeah, there's always a seed of darkness to some of these folklores, or
Of
right?
course. Yeah,
historic tales.
Yep.
yeah. Most saint stories have a certain level of challenge and struggle, and even
Yeah.
darkness going on in them.
Yep.
Why can't we all just get along?
I know, right? Um, so what were the most challenging parts of putting together the EP?
Hmm.
I don't know. I don't think anything. I think we set out right from the beginning to just enjoy it. To enjoy every little morsel of. We took our time and we wrote songs as we went along, and we just wanted to make
Yeah.
the best collection we could and try and tell a story from beginning to end. We kind of curated which songs we recorded, to try and tell a story. the first chapter of Dandelion Highway.
Yeah, like it was hugely rewarding and I think like energizing as well. Like Chris said, like we had like a positive attitude. We were working with friends and stuff to make it, and there were days like when we were in the studio till very late and going in there I might be like, oh, I'm too tired for this, but it was always energizing. Like by the time you
Yeah.
leave, you're like, we wrote a hit.
I think the
That's how
most,
it felt anyway.
yeah, yeah. No, it was. I think the most melancholy I ever felt was when it was over. It's like, yeah, we really enjoyed the process, and the excitement of like being able to write a song and know it's going to get recorded soon. Like it's a really fun process.
Hmm.
It was.
Yeah, and it's certainly reflected in the music. Yeah, I certainly enjoyed listening to it through and through.
Thank you. Yeah.
Good. Thank you.
Yeah, just an aside, if anyone's watching on video, I really enjoyed looking at Chris's shirt. It's a word
Oh,
cloud full of, I guess,
yes.
words, and it forms a brain. So tell me more about that.
I don't know. I just thought it was neat. I got it at Value Village, like I think almost 10 years ago, and it still fits, which is exciting because we like
Chris.
chocolate.
Yeah, yeah, you
um,
you get the oddest thing at thrift stores and used clothes.
yeah, you get lucky sometimes if you're willing
Seriously.
to hunt for it.
Hmm. Yeah, to keep up with the
Yep.
theme of Irish and everything.
Yeah. Yeah. I think it says karma at some point, compassion and giving back. Just really a good way to live.
Hmm.
Very
So,
Chris. Very Chris top.
And it was $3, so
oh wow, oh, that's a bargain. That's a
yeah,
steal,
I
as they
think.
call it.
I think. Yeah, but
Right. So,
yeah, we're having.
yeah, yeah, you were saying?
Oh no, we're having fun doing. We played a show a couple of days ago, and we thought it's at 6 in the afternoon. We weren't sure what the turnout was going to be, and we had a really nice turnout. It was a really good energy, and we're little bits of joy that we get, little glimmers of joy or bubbles of joy, as they've been called. We look for them, and we love when they show up.
Of course.
Yeah.
Right. I believe last time we talked, it was close to Christmas time, so it's roughly 3 or so months ago. Um, I believe I heard the you guys released the song "Home" and "We Are Gold," both of which are in the EP. I believe "The Crossing," the title track of the EP, came out later, so this year. And of course, there you guys film a music video too. So tell me about making that song and the music video.
You want to take this, Chris?
Oh, let's see. Well, I mean, the song came really quickly. I think Kayleigh had like a little verse idea, and then a couple hours later, the song was done, and it was a really nice sort of, you know, really, really joyful experience writing the song, and we tried to translate that into the video. And uh, there's these people in Niagara Falls who are doing these sort of NPR Tiny Desk kind of shows at their vintage. Um, they have. It's called Adventure, and they were kind enough to let us go in and run around and film for a couple hours with some of our friends, and so we just wanted to keep the sort of good energy of the song into the video, and
Yeah.
uh, and we work with Mark Zareni, who's done all our videos, and he's a longtime friend of mine, and we just it was just a really good energy, and it was kind of whimsical and magical, and we wanted to promote the store a bit, and it's just we were really lucky to meet these people, and really really happy with how it turned out. you know
Mhm. Okay.
Yeah.
good,
And
good vibes all around.
for those who are visiting or living in Niagara, Ontario, what's the name of the store?
Oh, it's the
It's
Vintage Venture.
Ah, Vintage. Okay.
it's well worth a visit. I think every single one of us that was in the store that day, like on while we were recording the video, all our friends, we all bought something. I
Hmm.
think the owner is really good at like curating a space. Everyone can just imagine something in their home. It
Yeah,
feels like you're in a home or something. It's so nice.
Yeah, the owner was like, "You don't have to buy anything, you know." And it's like we couldn't help ourselves.
Yeah.
You know, it was a really good time, you know,
Mhm.
and nice way to spend a cold February, afternoon, evening.
It was
Yeah.
it was really magical, wasn't it? And
Mhm.
it does come
Yeah.
across as well in the video. The video looks really like cozy and just Mark captured the fun of the day, I think, where we were just walking around and discovering little things in the all the shells.
Yeah.
And it did end up tying in well with the kind of theme of the crossing too, which is just kind of love and like enjoying the moment and celebrating like the people that mean family to you. And then we're in Niagara Falls thrift store, which is run by a family, and the whole family's in the music video, and all our friends are there. It was so cute. It was so fun.
Mhm.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
So
We
what did you end
that's
up getting? Sorry, to interrupt, but yeah.
well,
I
I
got
got
it.
a jacket that I wore in the video, which I was really happy about.
Hmm.
And I got the dress that I wore in the video too. So like Mark had this idea that at the end we would kind of be entering the store as ourselves and leaving the store kind of as this new like performer version of ourselves. So we were all like elevated at the end of the video. We were wearing like dresses. I had a beady dress on, it was green, and Chris had a big like jacket and a hat and glasses.
Yeah.
So we ended up buying our costume.
And Robin's our drummer, um, and his family came, which was really sweet because they've been kind enough to let us rehearse in their basement, which means they get to hear other. It's kind of hard to do anything else while the band's rehearsing. So we're really grateful that they've been so giving with their time and their personal space, and so it's
Oh
really
yeah.
nice to have them in the video.
Mhm. So what was the selection process for the track list?
I think Chris said it right at first when you mentioned that we were trying to capture like the sound of Dandelion Highway with the first EP. We were trying to kind of put our best foot forward and establish ourselves and who we were. So Chris mentioned already that like part of the songs weren't even written when we started recording the EP. Like we found the whole process like hugely inspiring and energizing. Like we had songs each, me and Chris, and we had songs we had written together. And it just, I think the producer helped us to select ones that were more cohesive, and we built them to be cohesive as we went along. And it all worked out. Like it was very easy, the choice, wasn't it, Chris, in the end?
Yeah. I think especially because it's been 6 months since we finished the recording process, and 2 years almost since we started. You can sort of listen to it as a cohesive piece of work, and when as soon as the song's finished, you're sort of hearing all the things you wish you did, and maybe
Mm.
things aren't sitting exactly the way you think, but time kind of smooths all that out, and you really enjoy everything about you know the individual songs and the cohesive piece of work. It's been fun
Yeah.
to sort of sit back a few months later and then just enjoy it as a fan, which we are. I think we're fans of our. I'm a fan of Kayleigh's writing, and I really enjoy the stuff we do together. And so it's given us a bit of distance. You
Yeah.
know,
It's a
we're
nice
just
way of
we're
looking at it.
Yeah, I think we're proud of it, and we're excited about the new songs, but we're enjoying sort of the work we did. Personally, I think it's one of the most. I'm more proud of this than anything I've done. So it's nice to see that people are listening and enjoying it.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
Yeah. Glad to hear that.
Woo!
Yeah. Tell me about the cover art of the EP.
That was our mutual friend Emily Purcell who did that. So she's actually the one that introduced me and Chris in the first place.
Mm.
And she's a graphic designer and a brilliant creative mind. And she was the perfect person to capture the kind of, you know, Dandelion Highway to deliver it in a like lovely little package because she knows me and Chris so well. And she did it
Yeah.
perfectly.
It's awesome.
Yeah, yes, like I just really love her work, and there's a coolness to her. All the work that she does, with the stuff she's done with us, and stuff she's done for other artists. It's just it's a really nice vibe. Sorry, that's my dryer going off. You can hear that. Um, but yeah,
Yeah, just
we're really lucky to have her and to know her, and you know,
Mhm.
I
so
love the
glad she wanted to do
colors.
it.
It was
Yeah,
so
yeah,
cool. Like, I mean, we give Emily almost no direction. Like
yeah,
we're just
exactly.
like whatever you
Yeah.
think.
Yeah, we know it's going to be good. She's done posters for us that are just like they're just works of art. And she's like, "Oh, this took 15 minutes." I'm like, "That's incredible." Yeah, we're
Mhm.
we're lucky to have so many creative people that we can sort of draw on. Like some of the musicians who play with us when they have time, and Mark who does the videos, and Ron who's done the production. Like we have a nice collection of artists around us that I think we enjoy working with.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we're so lucky. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
So did you give Emily the music, the songs, so just to get her inspired, or did you just tell her to make the cover art?
She's been listening to the songs from
Oh,
the get-go. Ever so when I first moved here from Ireland 6 years ago, I lived with Emily and she came with me to my open mics. I was playing the first version of Home before Chris helped it to reach like the final stage that you hear now. But yeah, she's been listening to all our shows ever since Dandelion Highway started. She's been supporting us and she had the tracks too.
that's great.
Yeah, yeah. We just said do what you want, and we know it's going to be good. And
Yep.
yeah, yeah, it was the easiest choice in the world.
Mhm. I
Yeah.
noticed
I
that.
don't know what we would have done without her. Sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sorry to interrupt. You were saying.
No, no, please go ahead. I just,
I was just asking because I noticed that in the EP you guys split the duties of who's doing lead vocals. So how does that? How do you guys work that out?
I think it's whoever sort of births the song. I know it's a weird word to use, but whoever sort of comes up with the original idea, I think, for the most part, ends up singing. We Are Gold was interesting because it was a gentleman I work with who said, you you and Kayleigh, one of you is always harmonizing with the other, but like, how about a song where you're both singing lead? So the verse of We Are Gold sort of turned in this duet because of his suggestion. So we sort of changed the key of it to something that we were both comfortable singing. And yeah, I think, uh, you know, typically it's whoever sort of starts the song that ends up singing lead. But um, I think we'd be open to singing each other's songs too as we keep going. You
yeah.
know,
I mean, it happens naturally. Like now, in the two songs that I've written recently, I'm writing parts for Chris because I'm imagining them for him. And then always when we get together and start collaborating on a song, new pieces form in it, and we always make it cohesive.
Mhm.
There's
yeah.
space for us both.
So what surprises you the most about the making of the album, the EP?
I think, yeah, I don't know. I think, well, I mean, I'm just surprised I still enjoy it so much. Like, it's like, I've done it, I've done albums with different artists over the years, and there's just, I just love the process. I love the sort of the collaborativeness of, you know, you're in the studio and you're sort of playing ping pong. It's like, what about this? What about this? Oh, I like this, and
Yeah,
you can't, you don't get that, uh, all the time. And it's, you work with good people you respect, and it's just fun, and it's still fun. And that's we hope people like it, but we like it, and we enjoy doing it.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And Kayleigh, would you like to take on the same question?
I would agree with Chris, but I would add that I was surprised by how much work goes into the back end of it because I'd never released music before, right? I'd never recorded music, and like I had family and friends seeing us in the studio, right? Because Chris is so good at updating the Instagram, like we're always keeping people in the loop of what we're doing. But my family was reaching out to me like weekly, being like, "When's the song out?" And I'm like, "Next
Soon.
year."
Mhm.
That
So
was our
that
yeah, yeah.
but like the process was fun, like Chris said as well. It wasn't like we were sitting there being angry, about it. Like it was fun. So
Mhm.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. We kind of feel like, it's we were ready for it to be out when it was out. Like I think five was a good number. I think we settled on five pretty early, and there wasn't much of an argument as to. I don't think there's any argument as to what songs should be on it. I think we just sort of picked the songs we felt set well together. You know, so all the hard stuff came easy, and all the we just it just we just were left with all the fun stuff. you know.
yeah, I think we have like a similar um opinion most of the time, me and Chris. Like we don't, it's very, very rare that we would want to take a song in a totally different direction. I usually agree with what Chris is saying and vice versa. Like we've similar tastes. So when it
Mm,
came to like which songs went with the overall flow of the EP, yeah, that was easy.
yeah, yeah. I think neither of us are like so ego driven that it's like, oh, it has to be, I have to have this many
Yeah,
songs. It has to be my song. It has to be this. I love this song. It's like whatever suits the body of work, and whatever makes
yeah,
sense for the project.
Of course.
yeah.
So, do you guys hope to go to Ireland to perform there?
Oh yeah, I'm bringing Dandelion Highway to Ireland one day.
Sounds
That would
I'd
be
love
really
to.
fun.
I don't know if I should bring this up, but uh, turns out my great grandfather was from the same county that Kayleigh's from.
fun.
Is at Waterford, so I'd like to go home and see my roots, or
Oh
part of my
yeah,
roots.
That's awesome.
so funny.
Yeah.
Yeah. And speaking of Ireland, the fifth and final track of the EP is, I'm assuming, is Gaelic in language. So I would leave the description as well as the pronunciation of the title to Kayleigh since she knows the language. I wouldn't dare to say the name in at risk of butchering it.
That's okay. Appreciate it. No, it's called Cree Olleen, and it means lovely heart. So the song, like, it started as a little kind of intrusive nursery rhyme, to be honest. It kept kind of interrupting me as I was like trying to work for days and days, I was working on another song at the time, and it just kind of was one of those tunes that like had to be written. Like it really was interrupting my life. So, but at first it was just like a little fee fi fo fum, and like kind of like this kind of like lullaby sound, which we kept in the final version. But anyway, the song, I was picturing my godson when I wrote it, so it's about like the pressure that society puts on young people, and like the end of the song is supposed to be like very defiant as well. Again, like true to the song's roots, but it's like it's a defiant little, be who you want to be, stay soft, and that will be your greatest strength. Like this kind of messaging, and I love the violin in that song. I love the way like Chris had so many wonderful ideas for that song, like with them. Like supportive melodies and harmonies and like structural ideas, but I think if I hadn't have shown that to Chris, like it was Chris's excitement that made that one a thing because I thought it was just a little poem, because we write kind of to get things off our chest sometimes. And I didn't really think of anything of it when I wrote it first. I just thought this is something that's on my mind that needs to be written and now I can move on. But Chris loved it so much that we ended up really like working on it. And I'm so glad that we did because now it's like one of my favorite songs that we've written, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it is my favorite too, just by the title alone, actually.
Oh, lovely.
Kayleigh,
Yeah.
the last show, Kayleigh threatened she was going to make me sing it. But I think I'll leave that one to you.
Everybody was afraid to say the word, so that's why all the harmonies are like, ooh. That's
Um,
funny.
I've returned to reading the novel Ulysses by James Joyce. I don't know if you've read that
Oh,
one.
wow.
I'm pretty sure that that nursery rhyme or a variation of it is mentioned in the book because
Oh, yeah?
I think everything Ireland or life or Dublin or Catholicism is mentioned in the book. You know, he was trying to make a book about life in general, and
Yeah.
it's a
I'm impressed you
very,
can read that. That's I try.
Oh,
I love Dubliners, but I couldn't. I couldn't. I didn't have the attention span to get through the language of it. That's really impressive.
oh, thank you. I think you don't really have to get all the references, but and you don't even have to understand the words of the characters. It's all about the progression, really.
Yeah.
it's a big poem or
Yeah.
something.
It is like that. Yeah, it's like you imagine reading it to yourself aloud, and you listen to I think the musicality of the words. So I
Yeah,
guess
that
as
makes sense.
musicians, I think that's something you might be able to understand.
I think that's
Yeah.
how I write. Well, not exactly, but I can understand sometimes when I'm writing songs, it's not so much about the rhyme, it's or even the syllables, but like the flow of the words and like yeah, it's hard to explain.
Oh yeah, it's I think a good example would be like when it starts. So I just find the page where it says what is it stately pump Buck Mulligan came from the stairhead. So that's a sentence, and it is it's so rhythmic in its structure and
Yeah,
its pronunciation. And
so good. I must give it a go.
yeah, you're welcome to try. It's I think once you get past the first 50 or 100 pages, you can understand it, and the final what 600-700 pages are pretty easy and pretty accommodating.
Wow.
Hmm.
Okay,
Well, that's great.
uh, so what are your musical goals for this year?
Um. Well, we want to keep you know getting new people to hear the EP, and we've been writing some new songs, and we're gonna hopefully be back in the studio to record another single. Uh, Hopefully before the summer starts. And we've applied to play some festivals, and we're playing North by Northeast, which we're really excited about in June. So we kind of have like one eye on a year from now, and then one eye on a week from now. And yeah, just trying to spread the gospel of Dandelion Highway.
Yeah, that's wonderful. Yeah,
Good word.
hopefully being on this show helps.
Oh yes,
Oh,
yes,
yeah, we're
yes. It's
delighted to.
Yeah, we include you as one of our circle of creative friends now. It's nice to talk to you again.
Oh, thank you very
Yes,
much.
thank you. Thank you for having us on again.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm not sure if I would call myself much of a creative person, but I enjoy the company of creative people.
Oh yeah.
Oh,
No.
Well,
We had a friend Stefan who came to see us. I've known him for 20 years, and he's got a website called Turn It Up or Turn It Off, and he goes around and he photographs and records live shows all over the world. He goes to South by Southwest every year and travels and just follows bands and archives. He's got some archive photos and recordings of a band that Robin, the drummer, and I played in 20 years ago. And like he's just a really great music fan and really passionate about taking photos. He came and took some photos of us at the Cameron, and it was really nice. Just
they were
you know,
so cool.
yeah, yeah,
mhm.
yeah. Just we
I
get to meet
couldn't.
people like that all the time.
Hmm.
He's so talented. When I
Yeah.
saw those photos, such imposter syndrome, I think, to be on the camera stage.
Yeah.
I felt so strange even being up there and playing to the room,
Yeah.
like sitting in that room. I'm always sitting in that room watching amazing musicians.
Yeah.
It's
You
so
can't.
so cool.
When I where I work, people say, where should I go to see live music in the city? And Cameron and Drum Taberna, which we're also lucky enough to play a lot. Those are the I say if you're never going to find, you're never going to be disappointed when you go there. They're always incredible
Exactly.
musicians.
Exactly, yeah.
Yeah, I went in there one night, and the old drummer from Blue Rodeo and the bass player from Blue Rodeo were just sitting in with this house band, and I'm like, oh my God, it's like so great.
I've just I've discovered them recently. I know they've been around many years, but I really have been listening to their catalog lately.
Yeah, my friend Paul just produced their documentary, Lost Together. He
Oh,
the
cool.
So I was trying to get him to get an autograph of Jim Cuddy for my sister, but he's like, no. But yeah, I watched a bit of it last night. It's a good watch.
Hmm. Okay.
Oh,
So I wonder if you still have those photos taken of you lying around. I like to, use a copy of that for the episode photo. And also I'll
oh
probably
yeah,
feature one of the songs from the crossing, yeah, after the conversation portion of the episode ended. So yeah.
sure. We can send lyrics you want and the pictures.
Okay. Thank you very much.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
I think that's about wraps up the program. So thank you very much, Kayleigh and
This
Chris of Dandelion Highway for joining the show.
always a pleasure to
Thank
talk to you, my friend.
you. Thank you for
Thank you.
having us.
Yeah, it's always a pleasure. Have a good weekend.
You too.
Yeah,
You too.
enjoy
Thanks so much.
it.